Hey guys, welcome back. I'm super excited about today's video. I am at my friend Jess's house and I completely made over her craft room on a shoestring budget. I'm talking less than $100, and wait till you see the before and after. It's insane. So before I show you the after, let's talk a little bit about purging, and let's talk about Jess. She is a classic bee, and bees like to have a lot of tools and a lot of supplies, and they feel really anxious or like they don't want to let things go because they think two things. One, it can be useful for something, they can use it in the future, and they hate getting rid of useful things. And two, they sometimes see their stuff as the dollar amount that was spent on it or what it would cost to replace it. So getting rid of things feels like you're getting rid of money, that you're like giving money away. And so as we were going through Jess's space, and as we were taking everything out and putting it in the other room, and every time we pick something up, I would ask her, do you use this? Do you love this? Not, is it useful? Because all of the useful things, everything is useful, but keeping them all was making her room useless. It was so full of useful, beautiful, maybe even expensive things that she couldn't even use the space. And what she wanted more than anything wasn't, $1,400 $20 items. What she wanted was a craft room to do what she loved, to sew, to create. And she wasn't able to do that in this space because she was so reluctant to let go of all these little things. So a quick tip was, we always asked her, what's the worst case? I would pick something up and maybe we get rid of this, maybe you need to have something like it in the future. What is the worst case? And usually it was like, well, I can get it at the dollar store, or maybe I could borrow it from a friend, or I could use something else that I had that would give me the same effect, the tool, the same effect. And when she really thought of it that way, it was so much easier to let go. And we let go of bags and boxes and a huge amount to make this space amazing.
So the first thing we did was empty the room, and then we brought back in the furniture that was going to stay in this room, and we just shopped her house for pieces that she wasn't using. Then it was time to sort. It's really important when you're sorting that you macro sort, that you put things in really big categories. You can always go back and micro sort later. This was about just getting things sorted into bins as quickly and efficiently as possible. And then we took all of the sorted bins and found homes for them within the room. Above this shelf, we decided to hang a pegboard organizer to totally take advantage of the vertical space.
So the budget for this space was just $100. You've heard that right, $100. But you know what? Decluttering and purging is free, and that is what made the biggest difference in this room. I also made this pegboard organizer behind us for $15. You can get a piece of pegboard. You have to frame it a little bit to keep it off the wall, and then you did that with wood we already had and added some trim. We already had a can of spray paint and some pegboard organizers, and you have an amazing organizing system that really takes advantage of the vertical space for under $30. In this craft room, we used what we had. We didn't buy fancy new desks or furniture. We used what we already had in this house. I had some bulletin board stuff in my house that I wasn't using. We have some little, dollar store cups that we already had. It really was able to reuse what we have, which brought the budget way, way down. After the pegboard, the only other thing I purchased was some dollar store bins, some dollar store hooks, some dollar store curtain rods, and we came in under budget.
Using an old shelf from her garage, we created a little sewing area, and my favorite part are these adorable jars from the dollar store to hold all of the thread and the different, embellishments. We have one for buttons, and then she already had these teacup organizers that she had made for a birthday party, which were perfect for all the little extra sewing stuff. In the bottom of the shelf, we keep her extra fabric and batting and all the things you need to create. Probably my favorite spot though is this closet. Using some dollar store curtain rods, I really took advantage of this space that was just empty in the closet to create a wrapping center. And then using some dollar store utility hooks, I hung things like tissue paper and bows and extra ribbon. Literally everything you need to wrap a beautiful gift. And it not only is it pretty, but it's so functional and really taking advantage of space that otherwise just would have been empty. On the bottom of the shelf, she already had this little plastic organizing system, so it was perfect to sort all her thousands of different ribbons that she uses to create bows. And on the other side of the closet, we just stacked some Rubbermaid totes to store less used craft items. So let's take a look at the before. This was a dumping ground, not a craft room, and it had looked like this for 2 years since the day they moved in, and now it's a beautiful space where Jess can come and create.
So thank you guys so much for watching. I am in love with this space, and even better, Jess deserves it. My friend is amazing and she's so creative and crafty, and she deserves a space in her home to just get her craft on, and now she has one, and you deserve one as well. So find a little spot, even if it's just a closet, and make a special spot in your home for you, whether it's yoga or crafting or baking, whatever it is that you love, make it today. I'm gonna put a link below to the labels that I used for this room. I just made them myself, but I'm gonna put a link where you can download them as a PDF file. I'm also gonna put a link to all the artwork you saw throughout the room. You know how I love finding images on Google Images, saving them, and putting them in dollar store frames. And there are a ton of free craft room printables that other bloggers have created. They're beautiful, they're free, and I'm gonna put a link below so you can decorate your craft room with them as well. And don't forget to like this video for more videos. All October I have a daily decluttering challenge coming up. So every day in October I will be decluttering a different space in my home and challenging you to do the same thing, just 15-minute little decluttering challenges. And in November I start my Messy Monday series, where I go to someone's home and I completely reorganize a really messy space on a really small budget, just real life organizing in real life homes. So stay tuned for that. So thank you guys so much to those of you who have stayed to the end. One of my favorite things about this space was the fact that Jess and Misty were here. Usually I'm like organizing by myself or with a client that's a stranger, and I loved that I was doing it with people that I know, that I could let my freak flag fly a little bit. Misty and Jess were always like, should you really be doing that? That's not the right way to do it. And they were right, like they're so smart. Sometimes I overcomplicate things, like this pegboard behind me, you guys. So Jess and I were holding it up, and I had the drill and I was gonna drill it into the studs. So we marked the studs and I had it, and I was like, had my drill, like I was all girl power and stuff. And we're holding it on there while I'm about to start, and I'm like, we should really level this. So Misty's standing back to like let us know if it's level with our eyes, but I'm like, Jess, go get the level. And I have one in my car and she had one in the garage, so I'm holding this thing on the wall by myself, and it's heavy, and I'm like, my arms are shaking, and I'm like, hurry, Jess, and it slips a little bit. I'm like, hurry, I'm gonna drop it, hurry. And I'm holding this thing for like 10 minutes while she's running around looking for this level. She couldn't find my key to get in the car. She couldn't find hers in the garage. We need to reorganize her garage. That's another story. So, and then Misty's like, I'm just wondering why you can't put it down. I'm like, you mean like the 4 inches to set it on the top of the shelf? I don't know why either, Misty. I held this thing, you guys, with all my might while screaming for Jess, and then I just set it down. Like, why didn't I just set it down? Because my brain, it's mush, you guys. That's why I didn't set it down. And Misty had lots of great ideas. She was like, why wouldn't you just, I'm like, oh my God, Misty, you're so smart. I don't know if it's that Misty's super smart or I'm pretty dumb. I don't know. I mean, everybody has their strengths. Everybody has their strengths. And yeah, sometimes things just woo right over the noggin. But anyways, I found that hilarious, so I had to share it with you. And maybe I'm not alone. Do you do just like daft things sometimes? Just like drive around with your groceries on the top of your car, you know? Sometimes pull away and forget to pay for gas and then have the cops come to your door because you've driven away and forgot to pay for the gas. You know, things, ADD things. That's the story of my life, my friends. So I would love to hear if I'm not alone. Put it in the comment below, some crazy daft thing that you've done, and I'll see you next time.